welcome back to my channel. I am BklynBookBelle, aka Felicia, and this is my February wrap-up. I emotionally read all through February, meaning there was no rhyme or reason to the list of books that I read, but I read some great ones and wanted to pull out a little bit of each book just to kind of talk about it, recommend a few, like some in February I was like, you have to read this. But yeah, it's gonna be fun, and I'm gonna give a few stats first. I am a data-driven human. I don't know when I became this person because I left the job that I had that was data-driven, and now here we are. But in the month of February, I read 20 books, and they were mostly romance, fantasy, contemporary, erotica, and young adult. Jesus. 25% was print, 75% was digital, which goes into my emotional reading, which I'm going to talk about later. My average rating was like 4.13. Y'all, I was given some low ratings in February. It was all over the place. But in February, I read 4,290 pages. That is like wild when I think about the time that I spent reading. That's crazy. Okay. I just want to talk about the books though. So let's get into it. I hope everyone is ready. I am moisturized, okay? The lighting is good. That's the only reason why I'm on here filming at this time of day. Go ahead and get ready. Okay, so jumping right in. The first book that I finished in February, I started in January and I didn't finish it, was Honey and Spice by Babalola. I swear, I hope I said her name right because I really enjoyed this book. Honey and Spice is a Black romance novel that follows two college students, Kiki and Malachi. And if you are a fan of Black romance, this is a must read. So this was my first 5-star of the year and it blew me away. And I'm so sad that I didn't hop on the Honey and Spice train when the book came out. It has my heart. It has my heart. And here's why. I always like to recommend books to friends, to family, to my students when I had them, like whole thing, right? And for my goddaughter, it was really hard for me to give her romance books because it's all very adult. And at her age, if I had Love Radio by I don't want to mispronounce her first and last name either, but Love Radio, I'll put it right here, and Honey and Spice when I was in college, my romance understanding would really be different. So Kiki and Malachi are current college students who, Kiki has a radio show where she basically is like giving love advice, and there's a new guy on campus and she's like warning all the girls to stay away from him. But y'all, why she end up meeting the guy and they have to like do a whole project together, and then of course it's like a fake dating situation, but they end up really liking each other. The drama in the book was so like age specific, and it was so appropriate for the young adult contemporary audience that it just drew me in, and it was just so amazing. The author did a really great job at creating an environment that I felt like I knew intimately, right? So a place that I felt like I had been with people that I knew. And I love that in a book. I love to feel like, oh my goodness, I've been here totally before. I know these people. You probably hear me say that all the time. I feel like I know these people. And it makes it relatable, and it makes it something that you are emotionally like connected to, right? And so that's really how I feel about Honey and Spice. I think it is a must read for, again, all Black romance lovers and just contemporary romance lovers. It was absolutely phenomenal, and it's a must read. 5 stars. That they did that. The next book that I finished was When You Dance, which is a book by Monica Walters in her Beirut family. It's number 8. And this one, y'all, was given I'm in love with a stripper T-Pain circa 07, 08. And I was not mad at no part of that. I love that. Okay, give me more of this. Okay, Jamal Dent goes to their favorite strip club in this world that Monica has created, and he is obsessed with a stripper named Obsession, and he is convinced that he's gonna meet this woman because she wears a mask, so we don't know what she looks like. All he knows is that like she doesn't give private dances, she works at this club only on the weekends, and she wears a mask. This is all he knows, and his little heart is like, she's the one. It's her, nobody else. And he happens to run into this woman at his job. He has to go and get like this training certificate or something. And he's like, oh my God, I'm drawn to you. And y'all, why? I don't have to say it. Why is her? It's her. This was so smartly done, like, because we find out that he loves obsession or is obsessed with obsession 3 books before or 2 books before. So we're already like, we really hope this man finds this woman, because come on. But I will say I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was an amazing, continuation of the Beirut story. And Jamal and Sandrine are 2 of my favorites. They were both very like broken and needed each other. So if you're looking for it's a great Black romance, When You Dance by Monica Walters. I gave it 4 stars. It was good. Oh, okay, so the next book I read, y'all. I don't just be on here reading reading romance and smut, but I did read Nubia, The Awakening by Omar Epps and Clarence A. Haynes. And it is an epic fantasy novel based in a deconstructed apocalyptic New York. So in the front of the book, I wish I had the book over here. It's actually on my shelf somewhere, but there's a whole like redoing of New York after this cataclysmic storm that destroyed the Nubians' homeland, that brought them to New York. But now New York is also deconstructed in a whole way because they've had this also massive storm and they were affected. And so the Nubians, Zabira, Uzoki, and Lincho, I'm probably not saying their names correctly. I want to say that. I'm a phonetic reader, so however it looks to me, that's how I'm going to say it. They are like the first generation of Nubians in New York. And so a lot of them live in poverty. A lot of them are stereotyped. They are over-policed and they don't have access to a lot of resources. Other New Yorkers have moved uptown, meaning like midtown, and they live literally in the sky. So there's like this anti-gravity city that has been built and it's called elevation. So they've elevated whole thing. The Nubians, the Black folks, low-lying area, always might get drowned. It's crazy. Everybody else living high up, elevation, until the Nubians start awakening powers. Because we all know how this goes, right? It's such a huge discussion on TikTok about Black fantasy or fantasy characters and how we have to escape the reality of the world. But I think in Nubia, The Awakening, they do such a good job in talking about how the outcast group normally has powers, creativity, the things that the people who have elevated wanted, right? And so it is a mirror of course, our society and how minorities are treated, outcasts are treated, all of the things. And I don't know, y'all, I could not put this book down. I couldn't put it down. I gave it 4 stars only because I felt like it took a while to get to like the thing, right? So the awakening part. But if you are looking for a book that's like middle grade, so I would say this is great for like high schoolers, young adults, because they do talk about drug use, they talk about sex, they talk about all these things, but it is literally an epic fantasy in New York. Everyone needs to read it. I hope it gets turned into a movie. This was good. I like this more than I like Children of Blood and Bone. I know that that's probably a hot take, but argue with your mama. Don't argue with me. I like this book. It was great. I couldn't put it down, and I can't wait to read part 2. Ooh, and the author Clarence A. Haynes totally is my friend on Instagram. I feel special. Okay, so 4 stars for Nubia, The Awakening by Omar Epps, the Omar Epps, and Clarence A. Haynes. A really great read. I talked about these 4 books in another video, so I'm just going to kind of go through the titles. I read some Asia Monique's Love in Seattle series, Sincerely Yours, Truly Yours, Love Always, and Dear Amelia, which is the first one. I don't know why I always do that. So in order, it's Dear Amelia, Sincerely Yours, Truly, Love Always, then Truly Yours. I don't know why I can't get this right. Storygraph messed me up. But 4 books that follow siblings in Seattle, and they were top tier Black romance books. I love them. I loved every one of them. I did give 5 stars to Sincerely Yours, but I have another video about the series. So if you're interested in knowing why this one stood out for me, please go look at that. It's either a short on TikTok, Instagram. I'll upload it here as well. I also read the 5th book that was not a part of the original series, but a follow-up book, Irrevocably in Love. Why can't I talk today? By Asia Monique, which is also a part of the video that I did. The next book that I read was A Cowboy Kind of Thing, an Opposites Attract Western romance. Let me tell y'all something. As a girl who went to school in the South, as a girl who was raised in the South, as a girl who was born in the South, I will always have a special place in my heart, okay, for a man that wears cowboy boots, Levi's, and a Stetson. Don't let him own some property and drive a Ford F-150. I like that. I like that a lot. I really do. And A Cowboy Kind of Thing is an Opposites Attract. So it's a big city girl who has to go and help plan her best friend's wedding because her best friend is like a superstar, marrying a superstar. And she has to go to this country town to work with her friend's fiance's best friend to basically create a destination wedding in a town that she does not want to be in. She has no time for this, okay? But when opposites attract, listen, things seem to happen. And I really enjoyed this cowboy romance by Reese Ryan. And I was the one on TikTok saying where the cowboy story's at, because I've been a Brenda Jackson girl my whole life. And I want more of it, right? Because I think Black cowboy culture doesn't get talked about enough, right? So I want country music. I want Zydeco. I want trail rides. I want rodeos. I want all the works. And that's what I got. And I loved it. So if you're looking for a cowboy opposites attract romance with Black characters, please go read Reese Ryan's A Cowboy Kind of Thing. It was great. I stayed in Monica Walter's Beirut family for 2 more books. I'm All In and Give Me Permission, which I gave both of them 4 stars. I'm still really loving what Monica is doing with the Beirut family and all of their kind of like branched out friendships. I still don't feel overwhelmed by the series and all of the different characters and everything that's going on. So I can't even give you all of the details for these 2 if you haven't read 1 through 10, because there's 11 of them. Yeah, so if you're not already invested, please go back and read the first book in the series, which I talked about last month, because I'm All In and Give Me Permission are 2 very different novels in the same world. And I'm gonna do a wrap up of this series because we're talking 11 books. That's a lot of writing. It's a lot of characters, and I'm still bought in. I can't believe it. Oh, I read 9, 10, and 11, Force of Nature, which is number 11. So that's the last one that she has out right now. I don't know if she's going to continue, but I think I want to do like just a mini series on each of the couples. What do y'all think? Should I do that? Put that down below if you think I should do a wrap of the entire Beirut family series. I don't know if Monica is done, but we'll see. But I want to talk about those books. They were all really, really good. I also caught up with another series, the Wolf Warriors Motor Club series. So Pharaoh, Wolf Warriors Motor Club by Casey Mills came out, and y'all, I'm in love with Pharaoh. I really like Pharaoh. He is the Wolf Warriors enforcer, and his mentor has passed away, and his daughter comes back to the motor club, and he knows for a fact that her father would not want her anywhere near this motor club. So he's like, what are you doing here? And she's like, listen, I had a situation. I didn't know that my boyfriend was in this motor club, and now I'm here because I found out that they were trafficking women, and I am now unsafe. And you, as my father's mentee, have to save me. Let's not forget that we was also in love, so don't play me to the left. You're gonna be my protector. And y'all, it was so sweet. I love when male characters are like written as real alpha men, but then there's that one woman who, when she comes along or comes back around, spins the block, he's like, listen, I will be as soft as you need me to be for you. I will whoop everyone else's ass, but for you, I'll be soft and I'll be your protector. Oh! I gave Wolf Warriors Motor Club, The Story of Pharaoh, 4 stars. And if you're looking for like motorcycle club, illicit behavior, a criminal underbelly, this might be one for you. You need to check out the series. I remember the first one being really good, and I really enjoyed the second one. So if you're looking for a little bad boy meets, you know, the good girl kind of thing, this one might be the one for you. Might be the one for you. Okay, y'all, so the next book that I read was Crossed Up by Tracy Gray, and it is the first book in her Basketball Baes series. Listen, I love athlete romance. I don't know what it is, y'all. I am not gonna marry like no NBA player or an NFL player for that matter, but I love reading about it. I love reading about it. I love it. And so Christian Cross Up Upton is one of the, if not most skilled players in professional basketball. Like, he's popping. And Genesis is his teammate and best friend's little sister. And she is a chef. And he has like a crazy Instagram model girlfriend when he meets her. But he cannot stay away from Genesis like at all. And so all of his teammates start like trying to hire her as like their chef and their personal cook. And he's like, but you my friend and you my cook, you gotta be at my house, y'all. And it's a whole thing, and it's so cute. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It's on Kindle Unlimited, and yeah, I had never read anything by Tracy Gray before. Let me go ahead and follow her. But oh my gosh, her writing was so good, so sweet, and I really love the characters. I love the world she built, and I hope I get another Basketball Baes book. I want that for me and for y'all, so go check it out. Okay, y'all, so the next book that I read was Black Candle Women by Diane Marie Brown. I received an ARC copy of this book digitally, and I was drawn in by the cover of the book, which I think is absolutely stunning, and the premise of the book. So the book follows 4 generations of a matriarchally led family as they uncover secrets. There's drama, there's hoodoo, there's a curse that needs to be broken. Like, it was a recipe for an amazing book. I think I was drawn in to all of the characters in each of their stories because the book is written in POV style. So we have multiple points of view, but I think the author did a really awesome job of giving us just enough of each of the characters and their point of views to really care about all of them. There is Nanny Gusta, who is the great-great-grandmother of the youngest daughter, or the youngest girl, Nikki. But her 2 granddaughters, Victoria and Willow, live with Nikki and Augusta in California. They have migrated there from Louisiana, running from the curse that was placed on their family. Mid-book, Victoria and Willow's mother shows up, and it just unfolds from there. So I don't want to give too much away. I gave this book 3.75 stars because I was just like, this is good. Oh, this had the potential to be great. But the pacing for me was not my favorite. And I'm a big pace person. I want to like get in. I want to know what's happening. And I want the resolve to be as climactic or as, you know, this epic story that you've told. And it fell a little flat for me. And this is big for me to get on here and say that I didn't like something, because normally I'm just very quiet and like, it was good. This was not my favorite. And I'm okay with that. I have to tell the truth. And I am. And that's all I have to say. On to the next book. Okay, so I read Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. Y'all, Kennedy posted this, she posted this TikTok, and I was like, oh, I never read that. I'm gonna go read it right now because I still want to get into Kennedy's, into like all of her books. And so now this is my second one. I read Before You Let Go, and now I've read Long Shot. And Kennedy gives you an emotional journey that you have to go on in her books. And even reading all of the triggers, my spirit was not ready for this, the trauma that happened on the page. I think I'm okay with hearing about something that happened, but reading it in real time, I'm not there. And so she did tell me to read the triggers, and I did. And I think even reading the triggers, I still wasn't ready. So our female main character is in a relationship with like her college sweetheart, who is very like, he becomes eventually a really bad guy. She meets our male main character on accident, like, and they just vibe out. And it kind of unfolds from there. Like, how do you leave your kind of college sweetheart, who is now the child of your father, the father of your child, for his like career nemesis? I don't know, y'all. That one took me on a ride. It took me on a journey. I think, again, it gives you all the things that Kennedy is known for. It was well written, the plotting, the pacing, the character development, the care given to the traumatic part of the book. I don't want to go in depth because read the triggers, but I will say I liked it, but I didn't like what happened. So it's really hard for me to say I love this book, right? Because I had to put the book down and step away after I got done, because I couldn't wrap my mind around what I had just read. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm going, yep. So I can't say it was good. Can't say I loved it. It was well written. I gave it 4 stars. I'm still not okay. The next book I read was the first book in the Domino Effect series by Gray Huffington, and it was about Ledge. Y'all, Ledge. Woo, this book took me on so let me pause before I get into Ledge. I read Long Shot and then hopped right into Ledge. There should have been some books to buffer the two, because they were both emotionally charged and stressful. And I don't know why I did that to myself. I don't know. But that is what I did. I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I did that. I'm still thinking myself through this. I don't know. All right, y'all. So Ledge was the first book in the Domino series. Let me take the smile off my face because it was serious. Ledge and Halo. Halo does not leave her house. Like, she has like a psychological disorder that from her childhood trauma causes her not to leave her home, right? And so a lot of the reviews that I read about this book, everyone was like, she got on my nerves, she was so annoying. I'm like, this woman clearly had a psychological break of some sort, okay? And so she had a lot of compassion and empathy from me as I read the book. She goes out one night, she ends up getting pregnant by this gentleman, Ledge, and he sees her months down the line and she's clearly pregnant. He's like, what? Okay, is it mine? You know, and she refuses to like talk to him. She hasn't been to the doctor. Y'all, I've never read anything like this, okay? So again, I had a lot of compassion and empathy as this story kind of unfolded. The patience that this man had in this book, never seen anything like it. Never. Their story was a difficult one to get through, and sometimes I think in romance it's like we want the soft and the sweet, but I think the caring and emphatic part that drew me into the story and had me reading it in one day was, this is a train wreck, okay? These two people should have probably, you know, been brought together under much less dire circumstances, but here they are. And Gray Huffington just, she writes characters that like you are rooting for in the midst of such a turbulent storm that by the time you get to the end of it, it's just like, put the book down, walk away. I can't. And that's kind of what Ledge did to me. I don't want to give away too much of the story because, again, this is another like newly released book, so I know people are going to be talking about it. I would say tread lightly. Read the Eisenberg books first, so you know who Ledge is and how we get to him, because this is the first book in this part of the series, but it's a branch off of the Eisenberg, so make sure that you go and read those first, and I talked about those last month. But I gave Ledge 4 stars because trauma on the page for me is I don't know if I like that. So great writing, great storytelling, great characters, very traumatic. Read the triggers. Read the triggers first. Yeah, do that. Read the triggers. I finished my month reading a new to me author, October Brown. And it was a novella. It was like 20 pages, but I thought it was so good. So basically, we meet this couple. It's called, what's the name of the book? Okay, so October Brown is the author. Just Me and You, a novella, is the name of it. And we meet our two main characters, a couple, in the midst of planning a very stressful wedding. And they make the decision to get married how they want to get married. And it's so cute, and it just made me so warm and happy, especially after reading the 2 books that I read before this one. This one warmed my heart and just made me so happy to close my month on, and I gave it 5 stars. Listen, 19 pages, in and out, okay? We love each other, we like each other, we get married on our own terms. Done and done. Go check it out. I think this is the only book by the author. Side eye. But hopefully she has more for us in the future. This book was just chef's kiss. It was cute, it was sweet, it was a little naughty, and we get our happily ever after. And so that was the last book that I read in February. I was all over the place emotionally, clearly because of what I was reading, but I really enjoyed, you know, getting through all of these books, and I am looking forward to all the books that I'm going to read this month in March. So if you have read any of these books, please drop a book stack down below and tell me which ones you've read, and if any of these spark joy in your life and you want to pick one up. I am still figuring out how to do this YouTube thing, but I do post every Monday and Friday. So make sure you click the notification bell, and I hope to see you soon in another video. So thank you so much for watching, and happy reading, you guys.